Hey Grownups, I have something exciting to share with you. There's a brand new kids podcast out now that I think you're going to love. It's called Mysteries About True Histories. This show is perfect if you love adventures, solving riddles, and maybe even some wacky math problems. But I need a little help from some new friends to tell you more. Max and Molly, take it away.
From the creators of Who Smarted, Starglow Media, comes a brand new podcast called Mysteries About True Histories.
Does that sound serious enough?
Max, we only have 30 seconds for this promo. Just tell them how your mysterious aunt recruited us into a secret order of problem solvers who travel time and have epic adventures.
I don't have to. You just did.
Catch new episodes of Mysteries About True Histories every Thursday on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey, Tailblazers! I'm Rebecca Cunningham, and this is Girl Tales, a kids' podcast of feminist stories for a new generation. Welcome back! It is officially Season 5 of Girl Tales. I hope you all have had wonderful summers. I know many of you are back in school. I hope that's going so well. I am so excited to be back here with you. Now, before we get started, I have to wish some very happy birthdays and some very special shout outs to a ton of Tailblazers who we missed over the summer while we were on our break. It's kind of a long list. Are you ready? Okay, happy belated birthday and special shout out to Everly, Ellie, Tegan and McKenna, Noam, Scarlett in Portobello, Scotland, Florence, Genevieve and Luca, Sydney, Mira and Juniper in Columbus, Ohio, Ariana, Leanna and Kylia, Veronica, Jackie Gable, Jocelyn, Leia and Jordy, and Petra. Whew! That's a lot of Tailblazers. Oh my goodness. I hope you all had a wonderful summer, an amazing birthday if you had your birthday over the summer, and thank you all so much for listening to Girl Tales. Now, on to our episode. This is Jada Henry. Enjoy! I'd like to tell you about a friend of mine. Her name is Jada, and she lives here in Freshwater. Jada Henry was born with muscles. Can you picture a baby with biceps? That was Jada. She could walk when she was 3 months old, and she could run a mile when she was 1. When Jada was 4, she could lift her mom up over her head. As she got older, Jada used her strength to build things. She could just look at a pile of wood, and the next thing you know, she had hammered it into a shed. Even Paula Bunyan was impressed by Jada. Jada's parents were proud of her strength and her engineering ability, but they reminded her not to overdo it. Jada would laugh and lift both her parents up in the air in a bear hug. Jada also did well at Blythe Gables School and had quite a few friends. She was captain of the wrestling team, president of the woodworking club, and co-captain of the weightlifting club. At recess, Jada put up a sign that said, "Volunteers needed. Must be willing to be bench pressed." Loads of students signed up to be bench pressed by Jada. In fact, it was one of the only fun things to do at recess. You see, the Blythe Gables playground was kind of run down. The swings were rusty, the slide was bent, the monkey bars had holes in them, and the spinners squeaked. The grown-ups were working on it. Freshwater's mayor, Lucinda, raised money to fix up the school playground, and all the parents volunteered to help with construction. Even so, rebuilding the playground was going to be a big job.
Too bad Jada Henry can't just fix it.
said a kid named Benjamin. He was the one boy at school who did not like how strong and smart Jada was. He would say mean things to try to make Jada feel bad about herself. Jada didn't say anything. She knew to just ignore bullies like Benjamin. But another kid on the playground piped up.
Why can't she fix it? She's the strongest person in freshwater.
Soon, all the kids on the playground were shouting out.
Yeah,
Jada,
she's perfect to do this. Yeah, right. I'll believe it when I see it,
said Benjamin. Every kid on that playground turned to look at Jada. They expected her to prove to Benjamin that she could fix the playground herself. Jada was pretty sure she could do it, but it would take every ounce of strength she had. Benjamin stood there, smirking.
See, she can't do it, and she knows it.
Jada walked over to the metal frame for the rusty old swings and pulled until one leg of the frame popped out of the ground. The other kids cheered.
Nice job, Jada! Yeah, go Jada!
Jada did that with each leg of the frame. Next, she dismantled the slide, and after that, she popped the spinner off its, spinner. All the students at Blythe Gables School were watching Jada, and Benjamin wasn't smirking anymore. Jada went around to each part of the playground, taking all the old equipment apart and tossing the pieces into an enormous scrap bin. Now, it was a hot day. The sun was beaming down, and taking apart the old playground was tougher than Jada thought it would be. Her face was sweating, and she was breathing hard. She had never pulled metal poles out of cement before, and it was harder than it looked. She paused to catch her breath after she bent the holy monkey bars in half.
I think Jada Henry is getting tired,
Benjamin said gleefully. The truth was that Jada did want to sit down and take a rest, but she really wanted to prove Benjamin wrong. She felt like she couldn't stop working till the playground was finished. The other kids looked up to her for how strong she was. They were cheering her on.
Prove him wrong.
Prove him wrong.
Come on, Jada, you can do it.
So Jada kept working. Jada carried in a dozen new poles for the swings and dug out a huge hole for the new sandbox. All the students except Benjamin cheered.
Nice job! Wow. Yeah, go Jada!
Jada! As Jada finished digging out the sandbox, she noticed her legs were wobbly. Her head felt funny, and she couldn't quite keep her balance. She started walking toward the slide when suddenly she felt herself falling. Jada had fainted. All of Jada's friends ran to check on her. Ms. Van Tassel, the theater teacher, saw the commotion and used her stage voice to say, "Clear a space, people!" The school nurse, Mr. Hakeem, came running to the playground. He checked Jada's vital signs and reassured everyone that she would be okay. Jada woke up and right away tried to stand, but Mr. Hakeem and Ms. Van Tassel told her to stay put. Jada's cheeks were hot and her eyes were stinging. Kids brought water and snacks to offer to her, but Ms. Van Tassel could tell Jada was embarrassed. She boomed out, "Okay, students, nothing to see here. Back to your classes." All the students slowly walked back to class, but Benjamin hung back. As Mr. Hakeem and Ms. Van Tassel helped Jada up, he came over and apologized.
"I'm sorry, Jada. I shouldn't have said all that stuff. You really are the strongest person in freshwater."
Then he ran back to class. Mr. Hakeem asked Jada to rest for a bit in the nurse's office so he could make sure nothing was seriously wrong. Ms. Van Tassel called Jada's parents, and while Jada waited for them to arrive, she thought about what happened. Jada felt tears filling her eyes. She was supposed to be strong. Strong people didn't faint. She still felt a bit shaky and weak, feelings she had never felt before. But then she remembered that while she was working, she knew she needed a break. Jada hadn't paid attention to her tiredness. She kept going because her classmates expected her to, and because she felt like she had to prove Benjamin wrong. She realized she should have listened to her own body instead of the shouts of the other kids. Jada had some snacks and drank some water. When her parents arrived at the school, they checked Jada up and down and asked her 100 times if she felt all right. She reassured them that she was okay. Jada's parents thanked Mr. Hakim and Ms. Van Tassel. They hugged Jada gently and offered to take her home. She thought for a moment, asking herself how she felt. Her legs weren't wobbly anymore. She felt her strength slowly coming back. So she decided to stay for the rest of the school day. Her parents reminded her, again, not to overdo it. Mr. Hakim insisted Jada should not lift anything bigger than a backpack. Jada laughed and agreed. 1 week later, the big playground rebuild day arrived. Volunteers from all over Freshwater met at Blythe Gables School early in the morning. School kids and their parents came, along with Mayor Lucinda, Sasquatch, Zala's dad, and Jada and her parents. Plus, Pippa and I were there. In no time at all, the playground looked brand new. There were working swings, monkey bars without any holes, a squeak-free spinner, and a slide that wasn't bent out of shape. The kids started running and jumping all over the new equipment. That's the day when I met Jada, the strongest person in Freshwater, who learned how to listen to herself. That was Jada Henry by Tessa Flannery. Produced by Chad Chennai and performed and executive produced by me, Rebecca Cunningham. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review on Amazon Music or wherever you get your podcasts. Grownups, if you would like extra stories for your Tailblazers to listen to, like the original Alice's Adventures in Wonderland or The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, performed by me, well, there's only one place to get it. Head to patreon.com/girltales and join Team Dorothy or above. And Grownups, you can also find Girl Tales and Cordelia Studios on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And hey, if you loved this story, share it with a friend. Oh, and remember, I believe in you.